Hey guys, Javen here. In today's video topic, it will be about advice I wish I knew back when I was 20, now that I'm almost 30. And I thought it would be interesting for me to do this video entirely in my Malaysian English accent. So let me switch right now. Wow, so where do I begin? I actually wrote some notes here. So I make sure I hit all those points. Just my cats running around in the house. So the first advice I wish I knew, or I would tell my younger self, is that everyone goes through life in their own pace. So there's always going to be people around you that seems to be doing better. Wow, they get a new car, they get this new fancy condo, or they get this nice title job. But you always have to remember that everyone goes in their own pace, because if you look at some of the more influential people in life, I'm not going to name any names, but some people started acting when they're 40s, or they only built their business when they're in their 50s even. So if you're like 21, 22, you see people around you that already bought their own house, or they already have this very, very high six-figure income job. It's not to say that you're a failure. It's just they are going in their own journey, and you're going to your own journey as well. And now that I'm almost 30, I also still the same thing. There's some people that is way ahead in life. I live in Canada, so it's Canada, Vancouver lah. So it's a place that is pretty expensive to own housing. And I already know some friends already bought like this brand new duplex or very nice single house. I'm still living in a condo. So, but then other people also as well is still renting. They're still living with their parents. So in that sense, as long as you just follow your own journey and don't compare with anyone else, then you'll be happier lah. The second point I wanted to talk about is who your friends are is also important. And I feel like as you're younger time is like easier to make friends a bit, because everyone is in like your university, your school. Everyone is at the same space. So every day you go to the same spot, and easy to chill with everyone. But then now that everyone live out separately, no longer going to school, you don't meet someone 5 days a week, it gets more harder to meet them. So meeting up with friends nowadays is like you have to be more intentional with it. And I feel that quality matters over quantity lah. So like nowadays, I feel like my friend group is very, very small, but the small few amount of friends I have is like every time we meet up, there's always like quality talk and discussions, and it's always nice to see their life update as well. Compared to if you have many friends but you don't really know them too well, it's for extroverts that might be fine, but like for people that want to just focus on your career, your life, and have a small group of quality friends, that I would say that is the focus you should have when you get older. So the third thing here is focus more on skills and not on job titles. And in that sense, I feel that when I was younger, I always had this dream that, wow, I want to be a manager, a director when I'm 30 or something. And now that I'm already 30 and I still am not this status in my job, I feel like it's not a big deal, because there's older people that are still doing like a coordinator job, specialist job. Not everyone is meant to be a manager in every role. And as long as you are finding purpose and meaning in your job, I feel that job title doesn't really matter too much. And if you are learning in your job and feeling satisfied, that's all that matters, I think. So the fourth here is don't dress to impress, and also to save money early lah. For me, I consider myself pretty frugal. And growing up, I didn't spend too much money, other than my bad habit of poker. But that's another story. But other than gambling with poker sometimes, I'm actually pretty frugal. Like I always wear all my clothes for many years. Like right now, I'm wearing a lot of Uniqlo t-shirts or any clothing from Uniqlo, because it's just cheap and affordable and it's pretty good quality. I see myself wearing this for the next 10 plus years. And I feel that you don't want to like always impress anyone. But sure, if your passion or like your interest is buying new clothes and trying that, yeah, then you can do that lah. But always make sure that you don't blow all your savings or blow all your paycheck on clothes or any other items to impress anyone else. Let's say like, wow, you want to impress this girl and buy a BMW, but your lease is like $800 a month for this BMW or Porsche or like any other expensive cars. But in the end of the day, like impressing all these people wouldn't really matter, because like what would that get you in 5 to 10 years? Like it's better to drive a more eco-friendly car like Honda Civic or something like that, and then save the money so that you can build your savings and gear yourself up for a nice future lah. The fifth one here is to take care of your health, because I feel that when I was younger, I didn't really have any like back pain or knee pain, but now that I'm 30, it's even if I stand up for a few minutes, I actually feel my left knee here is like, wow, why is it so painful? Like, I don't know, it just happened the last few months, and hopefully I just need to stretch more and walk more. But I think that when you're younger, you always take your health for granted, and as you get older, then you realize all these problems start creeping up. So if you're 20 right now or early 20s even, I will make sure to take care of your health and try to sleep at least 7 hours, even though I know that's hard sometimes, but try just to don't be stressed too much, take care of your health, drink water, eat fruits, veggies, just take care of your body. The sixth one here is, I wrote here, don't have to be a yes man. It's okay to say no. And I think when I was younger, I always like to please people. So every time they want to hang out or something, I was always trying my best to say yes. Or even in a job, I always like, oh yes, yes, can. But now that I'm older, I know that there's no point stressing myself out too much, and it's impossible to please everyone. So if you don't want to do something, or you're not 100% into doing something, it's okay to say no. Just tell them no, busy, or I'm not interested, and that's totally okay. 7 here is live your life on your own terms without waiting for approval all the time. And I think this is important because when you're younger, you might want to please your parents, or don't want to leave let's say you want to get a tattoo or something and it's get what other people think. But I feel like, at the end of the day, it's your body. If you want to do tattoos, that's something you have to live with. Or if you want to travel around the world, quit your job for a year or something, don't be scared of what other people will say, because it's your life. And if you want to experience something when you're younger, I think that's the best time to do it, before you're older. And then when you get married, get kids and everything, it will be harder for you to fulfill that dream. Okay, so that's my advice there. And my last advice here I wrote is small daily habits bring more happiness than big moments. So nowadays with social media, it's very easy to see, wow, all these people here, they're doing so well. But usually for social media, people post their highlights. I'm not going to be posting me working every day. It's going to be the same thing over and over again, right? But if you go vacation and everything is new and exciting. So people would want to post and share that more. And some people might just be more fortunate enough to do more of those vacations. But that doesn't mean that you are less fortunate than them. It just means that, you have follow your own pace in life, do your work, and you can enjoy your own stuff that's not vacation. Because even if you're regularly staying at home after work, you can join a gym, you can go swimming, go meet up with friends to play badminton or something. There's still activities for you to do without you going on vacation to do them. And I feel like other small daily habits you can do is waking up, make sure to stretch, even when you're 30s, 40s, 50s, making sure to stretch, sleep enough hours, make sure that you do well in your job so you don't lose your job and lose that stable income, and just be kind to everyone around you. And all these habits over time, it will make you a better person as well. So that's my advice there. One thing I wrote here as well is that if you're in your early 20s, you have time to grow, you have time to fail and learn from that failure, and you have time to restart as well. Not to say that when 30 you cannot restart, but when you're 20s, if you do something that is wrong or something, you have more time to make up for it. And then even in your 30s, that same thing still applies, because you can learn from your mistakes in your 30s going into your 40s, for example. And I also wrote here at the end is to enjoy the process and don't focus on the end goal too much, because if you always focus on that end goal, before you know it, 10 years will pass by. I feel like for me as well, I feel like I did more stuff when I was younger, when I was in high school and then university, and then around early 20s, I feel like I did more activities that's interesting compared to now. Whereas the last 5-6 years, suddenly I'm 30. Because the routine, every day you work, and then usually after you work, you're too tired already, then you probably just order takeout or cook something simple, watch TV, Netflix, and then suddenly at nighttime you wake up again to do the same thing over and over again. And then whereas when you are younger at that time, there's more experience that you experience it for the first time, I think. So like, let's say, you never horse ride before, or you never do all these activities when you were younger. When you do them, it feels like your life is longer because all these activities are the first time you're doing it. But now when you're older, you already did those activities, or maybe you don't do it again. So your days become like all compressed, and then if you look back 2 months, like you didn't really do many exciting stuff. So that's another thing as well, is to just enjoy the life process and maybe learn some skills along the way. If you have free time, want to learn a new language, you can try to learn a new language. Or if you want to learn how to draw, you can learn how to draw. Things like that lah. Yeah, that's really what I want to say in this video. And hopefully I can look back to this video when I'm 40 and see how much I've grown, hopefully. But if not, then hopefully this video will also be useful for some of you guys. And yeah, that's pretty much all I want to say. If you like this video, let me know down in the comments below. And also, if you have any useful life advice, feel free to let me know.